for the first time in God knows how long, I don't remember the last time I've seen a 1-for-1 trade. I don't remember the last time I've seen a player get traded for a player and there's no picks added. But Alex Caruso was traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Josh Giddey. When this trade came across my timeline, I think that the initial feeling was this is probably one of the worst trades I've ever seen. Yeah. This is one of the worst trades I've ever seen for a multitude of reasons. And on top of that, I was like, yo, there's always moments that'll show you how a franchise or why a franchise is or how they arrive to where they are. You know, people look at, obviously during COVID, the big talk of COVID in the sports world was The Last Dance. And, you know, you see from when, the dynasty that was the Bulls. And a lot of people ask, how do you go from arguably the greatest dynasty in basketball, or probably inarguably the greatest dynasty in basketball history? Now, obviously, you have the Celtics that rival that, Lakers to a certain extent, but we saw one of the greatest dynasties in basketball history. How do we go from that to whatever the hell the Bulls are? And obviously they chronicle the times after Jordan and that dynasty, but there's a lot of things that can, I'm not even going to just say a dynasty. There's a lot of things that can crush. There's a lot of things that can destroy. There's a lot of things that can derail playoff teams. Injuries, people not living up to their expectations, people not living up to their contracts, trades, front office moves, coaching personnel going in and out. There's a lot of things that can derail a good team. And when I look at this Bulls team, I can point back time after time after time where they have gotten in their own way. I'm not even going to talk about Derrick Rose. Even though you can talk about Derrick Rose and talk about the fact of why is he in the game when you're up double digits with like a minute left in a playoff game. That's neither here nor there. Let's just focus on this trade. Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey. To understand how idiotic this trade is, let's first talk about who else is on the Bulls. You have Lonzo Ball, who obviously hasn't been playing for a while due to injury, but all signs are looking like he possibly could be playing next season. DeMar DeRozan, Desamu, Kobe White. Now Josh Giddey. You know what all of them have in common? They're guards. On top of that, only one of those guards are dependable shooters. Why is that so important? Let's look at the last 5 NBA champions. The last 5. I think that's a good sample size. Out of the last 5 champions, only one, the 2020 LA Lakers, only one wasn't a good three-point shooting team. This year, the Boston Celtics shot the most threes in NBA history as a team. The Denver Nuggets were amongst the league leaders in 3 points made. Golden State Warriors, come on now. Milwaukee Bucks, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Pat Connaughton, great three-point shooters. Obviously, the 2020 Lakers, which we just talked about. I'm not saying that you have to. Obviously, every team has individuality. Obviously, you don't want your team to be a carbon copy of another team. But what I would think is if there was a trend in the league, and that trend is directly involved with championship, I would hope that you lean into that trend. Well, you give up. Not saying, I mean, I understand that Alex Caruso only shot, let me see, he only shot 41% from the three-point line, which is incredible. In fact, shooting 41% from three last year, you know who he shot better than? Klay Thompson. You give him up for Josh Giddey. Now, if you want a little bit more perspective on Mr. Giddey, and trust me, I'm not even going to talk about all the off-court issues. Josh Giddey, a year ago, shot 34%. That is awful. Bro, you give up a player that is he was on the All NBA defensive team, the second team this year, for a player that struggles defensively now for some reason. First and foremost, on top of all this, why not trade? If you're going to trade him, because I'm not saying trading Alex Caruso was dumb. I'm saying if you're going to trade Alex Caruso, why not trade him when his market is at the highest? Why not trade him near the trade deadline? And why are you prioritizing trading him when you have Zach LaVine, who's still on the team? It's just stupidity, in my opinion. Now, obviously, I could be wrong. Josh Giddey can turn out to be the greatest thing the Bulls have ever had since Jordan. But the likelihood of that happening is slim to none. Mind you, Josh Giddey was a player that Josh Giddey had ample opportunity. Bro, Josh Giddey got benched in the playoffs. You remember that? And you're trading arguably your most consistent player for a player that got benched in the playoffs, talking about, oh, we like the upside for Josh Giddey. The fuck, man. And again, I'm not even going to talk about the off-the-court issues. I'm talking about the fact if you have now a log jam at guard, what are you going to do? I think that's another thing, bro. The word rebuild, man. Washington does this crap a lot too, bro. At what point are you going to get out the rebuild? There has to be some point where you go from rebuild to contender or a solid team. They're just going to be, this is just another opportunity or another situation where the Chicago Bulls are going to be slightly above 500. They're going to make the play-in, probably lose, and now they don't have a good draft pick. All because you think Josh Giddey is a better option than your most consistent player in Alex Caruso. And I started this talking about the Boston Celtics and Drew Holiday. When you look at this Sam Presti is one of those GMs that you just don't. There's always a level of skepticism making a deal with Sam Presti, because when you look up, it always looks like the Oklahoma City Thunder just win the trade by a landslide. Bro, you didn't have to give up one of his 25 million picks that he has for the next 10 years. You didn't have to give up one of those picks. And if you're rebuilding, that's another thing. If the Bulls are actually rebuilding, why not get a pick? Because the best way to rebuild is to go through the draft. That's why I don't think, again, I don't remember the last time we saw a straight up player for player trade. Because if you're talking about rebuild, you usually rebuild through the draft. So why not get a draft pick for a player that was just represented on the all defensive second team, and I could argue deserved to be on the first team? Oh, man. It just doesn't make sense how an organization can that's why I talk about poverty franchises. The worst part is some of these franchises don't owe. They may know they're poverty franchise. They don't know how to get out of that. Because this is, in my opinion, as I'm looking at it right now, you guys know if I'm wrong, I will come in here and say I'm wrong. I have no problem doing that. But this looks like a terrible trade. Especially if you're trying to sell your fan base on, oh, this is a rebuild. Well, this is a rebuild. Why not get a draft pick? If it's a rebuild, why is Zach LaVine still on the team? Why is Lonzo Ball still on the team? Why is DeMar DeRozan still on the team? Now, yes, this could be the first domino, but again, you did not get a draft pick, and you got a player that is such a diminishing asset. I understand he's only been in the league for 3 years. He's such a diminishing asset. Maybe he just needed a new, because he was pretty good his first 2 years. Maybe he just needed a fresh start. But I'm almost sure that Chicago is not that fresh start. It's so confusing. It's confusing because I don't know what the Bulls are doing. I don't know what direction they're going in. And honestly, this move kind of makes me feel like they don't know the direction that they're going in. Because if you're going to trade him, why not trade him when his stock is higher? Why not trade him for it? I'm almost sure you could have got somebody better. If you wanted to do a player for player, you could have got somebody better for Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso could change the fortunes for the Golden State Warriors. You probably could have got someone better. You probably could have got somebody much more impactful to your team than Josh Giddey. A player, by the way, that obviously the Thunder wanted to get off of. Oh, man. And for the Thunder, I'm not saying that this is a championship caliber, or I'm not saying that this propels them to championship status, but this makes their team a team that was #1 in the West, might I add you. This makes them incredibly more difficult. This makes them much better. Now you have yet another defender. Alex Caruso is probably their best on-ball defender outside of Lou Dort. So now you have, to my opinion, two of the best on-ball defenders, and you have somebody that shoots 41% from 3 last year. And where did the Thunder struggle most in the playoffs? Defending the guards, defending Luka Doncic, defending Kyrie Irving, and hitting threes. Well, you got that in Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso, man, is a game changer. And again, I'm not saying this is a championship caliber move. I'm not saying they will win a championship, but this is a championship caliber move for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oh man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.